Welcome to the Positively Joyful Productivity Show, where joy isn't a reward for productivity, it's the secret ingredient. I'm your host, Nicole Louise, coach, wife, and dog mom. This is a no-kid zone by design, created for women who are child-free, childless, or an empty nester embracing your next chapter. You all belong here. Each week, you'll hear inspiring stories from women around the world and learn tools, mindset shifts, and practical strategies for living a joyful life. You'll also discover the science behind why focusing on joy fuels focus, motivation, and lasting productivity. Let's get inspired, get organized, and create a life full of freedom, focus, and joy. Hey, and welcome to the Positively Joyful Productivity Show. Today with me, I have an amazing woman. Her name is Alva Gardner, and she runs the 4-3 Perspective. And I have to tell you a little bit about her incredible business because if you haven't heard already, I am a teacher by trade, and I have been a special ed teacher for over 17 years. And so Alva's business is very near and dear to my heart. She helps corporations and organizations with inclusivity for people specifically with disabilities. So this is amazing. It's such a needed thing in our world, especially in our current climate, which we won't even go down that rabbit hole. But as a special ed teacher, I worked in a program that was designed to help students with disabilities get jobs. And I can tell you firsthand that trying to help these kids get a job was incredibly difficult because organizations and businesses can be incredibly closed-minded. So, Alva, thank you for doing what you do. Your business is incredible. And for those of you listening, please go check her out. Her website is the number 4 dash 3, number 3, perspective.com. So, Alva, welcome to the show. Thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you, Nicole, for having me. I'm glad to be here.
Yeah, absolutely. So excited to have you. So, for my listeners, you are an incredibly busy woman. You are running your business. You obviously are living your life and you've got a lot going on. And so organization is paramount to your success in just kind of managing everything, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
So can you kind of give us a little idea? So you use a tool, it's an AI tool called Notion, right?
yeah,
Yeah. So for those of us, me included, who are just learning about it, can you give us like a little overview? Like, what is Notion and what can you do with it?
yeah. Notion is a rabbit hole in the best possible way. Like, once you discover it and really dive into it, there's not much you can't do with it. Um, and one of the things that I love about it is the that it's highly customizable. So Notion, the way I describe it is like Evernote meets OneNote meets Excel meets Asana meets Word meets linked databases. And so it's a primarily web-based um application, although there is uh desktop apps that you can download as well, and iPhone apps and all that. Um, but it's basically at its core, it's a digital notebook that you can really build out to be whatever you need it to be and be as simple or as complex as you need it to be in terms of um, organization, of thoughts, of content, of business interworkings. personal interworkings, um, et cetera, et cetera. It's, you can have team members on it with you. You can use it solo. There's there's not much that I've found that Notion can't do in some way or another.
That sounds incredible.
Yeah.
So, I personally use like Google Sheets and Google Docs for everything,
Mm,
including my personal life. Like my husband and I have a Google Sheet where we keep track of our expenses.
mm.
Um, we keep track of like our passwords and all of that kind of stuff in Google Sheets. And so you're saying that Notion just like basically combines all of the good things that we already use, and you can do all of that plus more in Notion.
Yeah,
So, yeah, that sounds really cool.
yeah. I won't tell my IT husband that you keep your passwords on Google Sheets because that might hurt him.
Oh, oh my goodness, you are right. I did not even think of that. Oh, yes. Okay, so I'm learning from you now. So, this is really good. So, in terms of like security type things, is Notion a better option?
Um, so I will say that probably the interworkings of Notion is a bit beyond my scope of knowledge, but I
Okay.
will say generally yes, because it's um whereas Google Sheets or Google Docs or any of that is linked to your email. So like if someone gets into your email, they can get into all those. Notion is its own thing that you have to like log into separately. So
Mhm.
from that perspective, I would say generally it's probably cheaper, but again, it is ultimately a web-based system. So theoretically, it could get hacked,
Right,
just like your email could get hacked.
right.
Um, because even though I use the desktop app, you're still logging into it using your email or a login of some kind.
Yeah. Okay. That makes total sense.
Yeah.
So, all right,
But
security measures.
yeah, yeah. But now that I think about it, you can use Notion offline. I don't personally do that because I think that would negate the syncing aspect. So like
Hmm.
right now, it's on my desktop, it's on my iPhone, it's on my iPad, I can log into it from any computer anywhere and access it if I need to. So obviously, if you were working on it offline, you would lose some of that ease of access
Yeah.
element to it, but you can absolutely use it offline. And I think in that regard, it would increase the protection aspect of it.
Yeah.
You would just
Okay.
lose out on the syncing.
Right. Okay.
It's
Interesting.
it's about what your priority is, I guess.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so, but in Notion, you can, so I've dabbled in it a little bit. I'm kind of learning. So it looks like though that you can set up like different spaces for different projects or different kind of things. Am I right in my
Yeah.
understanding?
Yeah. So there's workspaces. And then within each workspace, you can have here's where it gets really granular and like, you can go as deep as you want to, but within each workspace, you can have either private like pages or notebooks sort of, or shared pages or shared workspaces.
Mhm.
So it's kind of, again, the beauty of Notion is also the overwhelm of Notion, which is that it can really be whatever you need and want it to be.
Hmm.
Um, and so, and you could get even more granular than how I use it, I'm sure, like with a bigger team. Um, there's even more that you can do with it. Um, and think that like that. Like I know a lot of companies use it as like an internal wiki page. So they have all of their business related information on in a team-based like wiki page, which like Wikipedia is kind of a what's the word? Like a dumping ground
Yeah.
for anybody to contribute their knowledge into this wiki, and then anybody in the team can access it and utilize that information as they need. And what's great about another great aspect to Notion is while it is highly collaborative and you can have teams accessing, multiple spaces and multiple pages, you can also get super granular on specific pages that people do or don't have access to within
Oh.
that workspace. So like for example, um, my assistant is I've added her to my business kind of Notion hub.
Hmm.
There are several pages within that hub. I think of it as like a hub system. So
Okay.
um, there are several pages within my business hub that I don't want her to have access to. And so I've specifically restricted those pages so she can see that they're there, but she can't click into them.
Oh, that's a really cool feature.
Yeah.
And I'm just thinking about me personally. So, like, in my life, my husband and I like jointly create a grocery list. And so
Yeah,
that would be something really cool that, like, oh, on our phone, we could just be like, oh, hey, we need bread or hey, we need yogurt or whatever, and simultaneously add things.
exactly.
But
Yep.
then if I'm making like, oh, what am I going to get my husband for Christmas? Like that, I could keep separate and lock him out of that so he can't see that, which would be cool.
Exactly. And like meal planning is a whole other sphere of, that would be a database where you would have a database of meals that you could then tag according to like, is this for breakfast? Is this for lunch? Is it a dinner?
Mhm.
Is it a high protein meal? Is it a special date night
Ah,
dish, whatever. And then within that meal, you can actually have all the ingredients that it requires pre-populated in there. So then if you're deciding that you want that meal, you just go into the ingredients section and you can just add all those ingredients directly to your shopping list from
oh,
the meal.
that is really cool.
Yeah.
So, a local grocery store where I live has their own app, and they have a very similar thing.
Mm.
But the problem was it was becoming a little glitchy, and then my shopping habits changed, and then I just stopped using it. But Notion would be a really cool alternative to that because I do actually miss being able to like, okay, I want, whatever for dinner tonight, just add it to my grocery list. It's so much faster than handwriting it all out. So that's a really cool feature. I love that.
Yeah, exactly. And one of the other collaborative aspects to Notion, obviously within your individual Notion, you can collaborate with others, but it also adds kind of a community almost. It's highly collaborative as well. So you can literally go online and go to Notion's website. This works better on the web as opposed to the app, but you
Hmm.
can go on their website and you can look at all these templates that people have pre-made and pre-designed. A lot of them are free. Some
Hmm.
of them you have to pay for, but uh, um, you can do quite a bit with the free options. Um, and you basically just duplicate that and save it into your Notion setup, and then you're not having to go in and like build out the database from scratch, but then you can go and um individualize it to whatever you need. So if there's something in there that you know you're not going to use, you can just delete that field or that tag or whatever it might be.
Yeah. So it's funny you mentioned that because when I was playing around with it, that's where I got lost. I was like looking through templates. I was looking for a habit tracker.
Mm,
And oh my gosh, they have like a bazillion of them. And yeah, the ones that I saw were free, which is amazing.
mm,
And yeah, I totally got lost and was like, oh, let me try this one. Oh, let me try that one. And then I was customizing and doing all kinds of stuff. And so I want to ask you too, because there were a couple things where I'm like, I'm not sure if I'm doing this right.
mm.
So I need to hear from you, Alva, who's certainly more of a pro at Notion than me, myself, the beginner here.
Yeah.
I've got to hear from you. Is Notion, is it pretty easy to get into, or is there a little bit of a learning curve?
So there's definitely a learning curve in that. Let me say this differently. The biggest learning curve is getting past the overwhelm of the fact that you can really do whatever you want in there. And
Yeah.
so when you first open it and it's not blank when you first open it. They do have a few pre-created pages for you, but effectively it's blank. And so that piece of it can be kind of overwhelming when you're just getting started because it really is a blank slate. Um, so I'd say that's the biggest learning curve that I found. Um, just because it's kind of a different way of thinking about organization. Once you get into it, once you're using it, it's at least I adjusted to it very quickly, but it
Mhm.
is different at first. So again, templates are a huge help because then you're at least starting with something.
Right.
Um, and you can kind of learn how to do things by almost exploring how the templates are built out and um what fields they're using. So is it heading two? Is it heading three? Is it a toggle? Is it a checkbox? Is it a bullet point? Is it a link to database? Like what actually is that piece of the template? And
Hmm.
that can be a useful way to kind of familiarize yourself with what all they used to call them blocks. I don't know if they still call them blocks. Um, like instead of lines, because it does look like just lines of text.
Okay.
but each each line is called a block, or at least it was last I looked at it. I
Okay.
still call them blocks.
Okay.
Um, and so yeah, it's one to kind of see like, oh, this block is a heading 3 with a blue background. Oh, this block is a toggle that they have open, and inside the toggle is all this other text that can be hidden or not. Oh, this block is a linked database. Okay, let me go to the original database and see what's in there, like, etc.
Mhm.
Um, and then YouTube. YouTube is
Mhm.
your best friend because there are so many channels and creators and um YouTube videos that of people showing their notion and showing both the visual of just what it looks like and how they laid it out, but also there are tutorials of like, here's how to create a linked database. Here's
Mhm.
how to, you know, filter a linked database into different views so that you're looking at the same information because it's all one database, but you're looking at it in two different configurations based on the information that you need or don't need, etc., etc. So yeah, I have spent many an hour on YouTube. Even now, I've been using Notion for boy, 4 years, 5 years, um,
Okay.
quite a while. And
Yeah.
I was actually on YouTube with my assistant last week because I need to build out a different method for tracking some stuff on the personal side.
Hmm.
And I wanted to kind of level up my my knowledge that we were on there. And I have a window open with like 9 different Notion tabs with different videos of like, okay, is this what I'm trying to do? Okay, not quite. Is this what I'm trying to do? Not quite. Like, so
Yeah.
yeah, YouTube is your friend for sure.
Okay. So that was one of my questions for you is like, where would somebody start? And it sounds like just kind of playing with the templates, like figuring out, okay, what do you want to use this for is probably step one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, are you going to use it for your grocery list? Are you going to use it to organize your, I don't know, your contact list? Who knows, you know?
Yeah.
Um, but start there and then try to pick a template that's going to fit that, play around with that just to understand the features, and then go to YouTube for more support after that. Would you say that's a good place to start?
Definitely, and I would add, I probably have at least a dozen templates in my Notion. So it's not like one template is your entire Notion workspace. Like the template might be the meal planner template
Mhm.
versus the business planner template versus a travel itinerary template. Um, so yeah, like if you go the template route, odds are it's gonna be your Notion is gonna end up being kind of a amalgamation of different templates.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay. Ah, good to know.
yeah.
So, can you tell us a little bit about? So, I'm a paper pencil girl, slowly moving to the tech world. Like
Mhm.
I said, Google Sheets, Google Docs is kind of my go-to. And like I do use some other stuff online, but I'm, pretty much old school when it comes to like organization in that kind of way.
Okay.
So for you, what was it like before Notion? Were you a paper pencil lady too, or what was it like?
So I would say mentally, I'm a paper pencil person. Like that's how my brain works. Physically, because of my disability, I can write by hand and I still do.
Hmm.
But it's definitely hard and it takes a lot of energy and it's by no means fast.
Hmm.
So, um, I've kind of had to train my brain to be a digital organization person, even though I'm probably naturally a paper and pen organization person. Um,
Hmm.
but so knowing that I needed to go the tech route, I've tried kind of everything under the sun. Not so much recently because I have Notion now, but before that, I mean, I had tried OneNote, I had tried Evernote, I had tried physical notebooks, pen and paper. I had tried Asana, which is a traditional project management software.
Hmm.
I had tried Rindle, Rindle, which is another project management software.
Hmm.
And, all of those were good in one way or another, but all of them had some limitation, right?
Yeah.
Because, yes, I do use Notion as a project management software in that I have kind of a Asana type database with tasks in
Hmm.
it. Um, but I also needed a platform to take notes in if I had a meeting that I was in, and I didn't want to just have a bunch of random Word documents or Google Docs everywhere. That I'd have to organize in folders and subfolders and all that.
Yeah.
So, um, and then things like OneNote or Evernote were that kind of digital notebook method, but they didn't have the project management side of things, right?
Yes.
So, um, yeah, so again, everything was either a little bit too simple and one-dimensional or single purpose,
Hmm.
or it was overly complicated and not, let me say, overly complicated without the capacity to um, personalize and customize it to meet my needs.
Yeah. That makes a lot of sense. And I do remember OneNote. I used it maybe like 3 times, and it was basically a notebook, if I'm remembering correctly.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah. And so there wasn't really much functionality to it other than just keeping a digital notebook, really.
Right.
Um, but I want to circle back to what you said in the beginning when you were talking about you had to train your brain to kind of go digital.
Mm,
I feel like I can certainly relate to that. And I know from talking with other women and like friends and family, I feel like most of us are naturally like paper pencil kind of people. And I
yeah.
feel like that's a very relatable thing where we do have to kind of train ourselves to get into technology.
Mm,
Um, and I think about like my mom, she's close to 60 years old and she's like, I don't want to do anything on the computer, like that era, that mentality is, they didn't grow up with it.
yeah.
And, we did. So it is different. But again, with that said, I do think that most people we're just so used to paper pencil, doing something new and something different takes a little bit more brain power. It does take a little bit more getting used to. But once you do it, I feel like it makes your life so much easier.
Yeah,
So,
absolutely.
yeah. So, can you speak to that a little bit? Like, how has Notion helped you overall?
Yeah. So I'll answer this kind of backwards.
Okay.
Starting with, what I said before about the fact that you can access it on a laptop, your phone, your iPad, the web. Like, I think that's the biggest, and you can do that seamlessly. That's the
Mhm.
key. You
Yeah.
can access it from any of these platforms, and it's seamless.
Mm,
That was the biggest thing for me that was really different with Notion is that, you know, again, because of my disability, yeah, obviously I have a laptop, I have a whole desk set up. But if I'm not in my office and I think of something that I want to add to my Notion, I don't want to have to like if I'm not in my wheelchair, if I'm on the couch or something, I don't want to like get up, get in my chair, go to my desk, go
mhm.
to my office, turn on my computer, open Notion, but I always have my phone. So I can open the app, go to the page, it functions the exact same way on my phone as on the laptop. It's not as easy to do everything on your phone, but you can access everything. So if at a minimum, I can at least go to the page that I want to add whatever it is,
Mhm.
and at least type it in there so that next time I'm at my desk, I can, build it out the way I actually want it to be built out.
Right.
Um, and a whole other aspect that I forgot to mention is, you can have things that have dates attached to them. You can have reminders
Hmm.
in pages. You can literally, in a random page, you can type the at symbol and type a date anywhere on the page and turn it into a reminder where whenever you get that reminder and you click on it, it will take you to that spot on that page. So I've done that where like I'm on the couch and I pull out my phone, make a quick note of like I can't think of any right now, but make a note and said something like um oh add a field to my content planning database that says that for um needs edit to something
Hmm.
and then and remind me to do that tomorrow at 10 a.m. And then tomorrow at 10 a.m. when I'm on my laptop, I will get a notification from Notion that says add such and such field. I click on it, it takes me right to that page. I can add the field real quick, delete the reminder, done.
Yeah, that is really handy. And again, I'm just thinking of myself and I'm like, I'll be in the shower. I feel like I always do my best thinking in the shower. And
Me
so I
too.
get out of the shower and I'm like, I need a notepad in the bathroom
Yeah,
so I could grab my phone and just put a note in Notion and be like, hey, remind me at 11 o'clock to do da 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 da.
yeah,
Like that is really, really a handy tool. I love that.
yeah.
Um,
Yeah. And you can also tag other people. So like my assistant, I will, like, one of the things that I have her do is if I'm in a meeting with a client and I use Otter.ai, which is a um transcription note-taking platform that
Okay.
will record meetings or record audio, and then
Mhm.
it will also transcribe what's being said.
Okay.
Um, so again, that's a whole other podcast episode.
Right.
But so I will do that, and then I will, because when I'm talking with a client, I let me take a step back. I type with my nose. So
Okay.
when I'm in a meeting, I am taking notes, but taking notes is me going like this on my
Right.
keyboard because my keyboard's raised.
Hmm.
And that's fine, and I do that. But one, I don't catch everything that's being said.
Right.
And I try not to be like this for the whole conversation. So I try to
Right.
like mostly be looking at the person that I'm speaking to.
Right.
And so what I will do, for example, in Notion is I will create a page for that meeting. I'll put the client, I'll put the date. These are all fields that I have in that database.
Hmm.
I will take some notes just so that, because that helps my brain stay engaged.
Hmm.
But then I will tag my assistant and say, the at sign and then her name and say, please, please fill in the notes from call blah 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 blah
Hmm.
below. And then she gets a notification and will go in to that same page. So it's not like she's doing a new Word doc that I then have to copy into Notion. She can just go right into that page. I'll send her the recording. She listens to it and fills in my notes.
Whoa.
Yeah,
That is awesome.
yeah.
Like, how cool is that? And
Mhm.
I know me personally, like, I have a hard time engaging in lengthy meetings myself, and I tend to like zone and like miss stuff. So
Yeah.
that would be an incredible tool.
Yeah, well,
Wow.
Otter, like the animal, OTTER dot AI
Okay.
is, I can't speak highly enough of Otter. And that also works on the web. There's an app on your phone, but
Hmm.
it's across all my devices as well.
Yeah, that's amazing. Oh, thank you for sharing. Like,
Yeah,
these are such great tips. And as soon as we get off this call, I feel like I need to go play with Notion.
yeah,
And I feel like I could talk to you forever and ever and ever. But I don't want to overwhelm our listeners. I feel like maybe it's been a lot at this
yeah,
point to kind of take in.
yeah,
Um, but I think, you've given us a really amazing overview of what Notion is, how it can help like support you in your daily life and just make things so much easier.
yeah,
And there's just so many things that it can do for you in your daily life, at work, wherever.
mhm,
And I love, like you were saying, how it seamlessly syncs and you can use it across devices, which again is so handy. Not all apps can do that.
mhm,
So I'm sold. Thanks,
yeah,
Alva.
yeah. Yeah, I'll just add to say that like what I really appreciate specifically about Notion is it really is seamlessly business, a platform for business purposes
Hmm.
just as much as it is a platform for personal. So like, whereas mm, traditional project management software or task management software, yeah, you can use it for personal stuff, of course, but it is intended as a business platform. And so you're always kind of like, this seems weird to be like putting my packing list from my Hawaii vacation into Asana. Like,
Right.
okay, but with Notion, again, I have a whole separate workspace for my personal life. And we talked
Hmm.
about groceries and meal planning, but as someone with a disability, I have weekly, monthly, quarterly, whatever meetings with all my support providers, all my service agencies, and I'm taking notes in all those meetings as well. I'm tracking tasks that they have said they will do that I have to do for what they need, etc., etc.
Hmm.
Um, and I can have that all in the same platform of it's all in Notion, but
Right.
I have a separate personal workspace from my business workspace. And I can link between those two as needed, but they
Hmm.
are also separate, which is super helpful.
Yeah. Yeah, that is really, really incredible. And again, I'm just thinking, personally, I've gone through some health things recently, and my husband is currently going through some health things. And so, like, doctor visits, that's one of those times where I like zone out, the doctor's talking and I'm like, oh,
Yeah,
and so having that tool to be able to help support me and my husband, in those like hard to focus moments would be so cool.
yeah,
And again, just organizing everything and just keeping everything in one spot, like, yeah, just what an incredible, incredible tool.
yeah,
And also, like you were saying, that's probably why I haven't really, delved into or delved, is that even a word? Dove
I,
into.
I got you. It's fine.
Thank you. Teacher here can't even speak English,
Yeah,
right? Anyway, um, I haven't even gotten into project management software because you're right, it is mainly business focused and it's not really tailored to everyday life. And again, okay, so there are things to help you with a grocery list or a packing list, but there's nothing that's really all inclusive. And so Notion just sort of checks all the boxes for anything that anybody would ever really need, it sounds like. So,
yeah. Or if it's not included, it probably will be soon. Because
yeah,
even just in the 4 or 5 years I've been using it, they've added so much capability to it that wasn't there even when I first started to use it. So I
yeah,
think I think it's only gonna get even more impactful than it already is.
yeah. That's amazing. Oh, I love it. And it's funny because as we were talking, my phone is on silent, but my Notion notification just came up for my habit, and I'm like, oh, hey.
See, there you
So
go.
it works. Yeah,
Yeah,
I love it.
yeah.
Oh my gosh. I feel like I could talk to you for like 12 more hours about this and pick your brain about Notion. But I have one final question for you.
Yeah.
So, because this is the Positively Joyful Productivity Show, I would love to know. I ask all my guests this. What is one thing, Alva, that you do for yourself that brings you joy?
So I would, if I had to say one.
You can say more than one.
Okay. Well, it's funny. People ask me that. And One of my one of my favorite hobbies is public speaking. There's a,
Really?
there's a reason that my business is public speaking, and that is because I love it. I thrive on it. I My first public speaking gig was when I was 8 years old, and I loved it. Like it was so in line with me that, now I'm fortunate that I get paid to do it for a living,
Yeah.
um, but I really do just love it. It's a passion of mine, it's a hobby of mine. Um, so I always say that. But besides that, I would say public travel and
Mm,
exploring new places. My husband is from Italy. We're both big travelers. I've traveled since I was a kid.
yeah.
Road trips and Europe and Fiji and all across the US. Um, so yeah, I just I love travel, even local travel. Like we
Hmm.
just moved to a new area back in October, and we are still just exploring and traveling around our new city and our new neighborhood. And yeah, I love it.
Ah, I love that. I love both of your answers, especially public speaking, because I feel like you might be the only person on the planet that gets joy from that activity.
Well, then I won't tell you about the 600-person keynote I gave last week, which that was just me totally in my element,
Oh my
sitting in
gosh.
front of 600 people.
Oh my gosh, that's incredible. I feel like I can, I don't know. When I was in kindergarten, I took dance lessons and I like was in the talent show and I did a dance, but that's not speaking. Like I feel like I like forget what I'm gonna say and I get so nervous, but that's incredible that you love it. That's amazing. I love that.
Well, you know, I, I tell people this, and I say it as a joke, but it's not actually a joke. It's like, as someone with a very obvious disability, right? I use a wheelchair, I have spasticity in my muscles. Even, right now, you can't see my wheelchair, but as soon as I started talking, it's pretty obvious that I have disability.
Mhm.
So when it comes to my disability, I've never known the privilege of anonymity. So,
Mm,
because of that, I deal with people staring at me all the time. I deal with people coming up to me and asking questions all the time. Sometimes appropriate, sometimes not too appropriate, right?
yeah.
And
Yeah.
so, again, I say this kind of as a joke, but also not really. It's like, well, if people are going to stare at me and ask personal questions about my life anyway, might as well get paid for it. So, like that's really been my kind of outlook on that from since I was 8 years old.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah,
yeah. You're so right though. Mm.
yeah,
I'm so happy that you have such an amazing attitude about that though. Like I can't imagine people asking because again, as a special ed teacher, I've witnessed people being incredibly rude.
yeah,
And so I love that you took that and just spun it like, no, I'm going to make this work for me. So
yeah.
good for you, Alva. You're a rock star.
Thank you.
Yeah. Uh, All right. Oh my goodness. Again, I feel like I could keep talking to you forever, but we probably should wrap it up.
Okay, we can do a part two, that's fine.
Definitely. I feel like we should probably do like a part two for Notion, like give people a chance to go try it out, and then maybe they can ask questions, and
Yeah,
maybe we'll do a part two. How's that sound?
perfect.
I love it. All right, let's do it. Spur of
Great.
the moment, plan two.
Love it.
Let's roll.
Cool.
Awesome. All right. Alva, this has been an incredible conversation. Thank you again so much for being here. And again, to my listeners, please go check out her website. Her business is incredible. It's the 4-3perspective.com. And Alva, can my listeners find you on social media?
Yes, I'm on Instagram at Alva's Perspective. So Alva with an S underscore perspective. I'm on Facebook at Alva Gardner. The 4-3 Perspective has its own Facebook at the 4-3 Perspective. I'm on LinkedIn, Alva Gardner. Uh, I am on YouTube, but I don't know how much my assistant has uploaded yet. So, but there is a YouTube channel. Yeah, so
Awesome.
I'm all over.
I love it. All
Yeah.
right. So we will link all of that in the show notes below. So go check out Alva, show her some love. Go check out her business. She is amazing. Again, thank you for being here. And that's going to be a wrap for our show today.
Thank you for having me, Nicole. I
Uh,
appreciate it.
yeah, absolutely.